Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Tina's Arena. In light of casualness and not being so heavy all of the time, let's just tell a story today. I am taking a speaking course called Ultra Speaking, and I'm really enjoying it. It is improving my speaking skills a lot, I think, but only in the context of the course. Outside of the course, I'm still struggling, but I am learning to be more confident with myself, express myself, hold opinions. Like the whole point of taking the course, I believe I am improving on. And I started taking the course in April. So it's only been a few months. And I am definitely noticing that I am becoming more confident as a speaker and as a person. And this is the story of my favorite book. This was a couple of years ago. At this point, I just broke up with my then fiance. We had been struggling for a while. I feel like a year or two, depending on who you ask. And I was faced with the decision of whether I would keep trying to save this relationship or save myself because I had been giving myself too entirely to this relationship and I was drained. I was tired. I was lost. I was fighting. We were fighting. There were issues. And in the end, I had to decide that I had no more resources to give towards this relationship. And I had to break up with him. So I chose to save myself. And as you can imagine, I was in shambles. I fell into a depression, which I think is a given. That I fell into a depression at that point, and I actually started to lose weight for the first time in my life without trying. I could not eat. And if you're here, you're listening to me, you know that in my past, I struggled with overeating, binge eating, all of the eating things. I could not stop eating. But in this instance, for the very first time in my life, I could not eat. And I started to lose weight. And I was low energy. I was depressed. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was lost. I lived in a house, a big house by myself. Things were just way too quiet around me. And so, one of the things that I do when I am bored or just want to scroll something, but scroll something useful, I scroll through Facebook events and I see what's happening in around the city, what my friends are doing, because it recommends events to you. And I'm scrolling through the events and I see a book club for a book called It's Never Too Late to Begin Again by Julia Cameron. I've never heard of this book club before. I've never heard of the lady that ran the book club before, and I'd never heard of Julia Cameron, and I've never heard of It's Never Too Late to Begin Again. But when I saw that title, I knew that it was for me. And so I emailed the book club leader. I asked, how do I join? I e-transferred her the money, and I waited for that day to come. I am a procrastinator, of course, so I did not buy the book in advance. I was late for the very first book club meeting because I had to go run and buy the book. And when I bought the book, the subtitle for the book was something about retirees. It's never too late to begin again. How to find yourself again as a new retiree. Clearly, I am not of regular retirement age. And I suddenly was conflicted because I bought the book. I already signed up for the book club. It's happening now, and I'm on my way there. Like, this isn't for me, but do I go anyways and see what happens? And I'm so glad that I did. I walked into that book club half the age of the other ladies in there, but they welcomed me and they said, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Sit down, join us. Not a big thing." So we did our introductions and I told them my story. I told them what just happened. It was probably quite fresh, I think, when I joined the book club a couple of months into my breakup. And I really felt like I was starting all over again. Like I defined myself by that relationship. And now I wasn't in that relationship anymore. And so who was I? So I was really looking to find myself again. And these ladies held my hand, welcomed me into the group, and together as a group, we went through the book. It's an 8-week program that gives you prompts and ideas and things to think about. It calls you out on your shit. It really does. And it helps you grow. And it is so amazing that I got to do it with these older ladies because they had so much more life experience than I did. And I got to see life through a different set of eyes. And my favorite part about the book, It's Never Too Late to Begin Again, which I like over the regular version of this book, The Artist's Way, is that this version gets you to write a memoir. So you reflect back on your life. And these ladies shared their life story with me, which I thought was so magical because you get to learn from people so quickly, so deeply. And there were incredible stories coming from these women as well. It showed me that no matter what our age, we still can struggle with similar things if we do not heal these issues and grow past them. People were still struggling with confidence, with learning how to love themselves, with listening to their inner voice. It's a constant struggle. And it showed me that I'm not wrong, I'm not broken because I struggle with this. It is, in fact, a part of life and something that a lot of people struggle with. And it was just magical to go through that experience with people that I never knew before, didn't know anything about me, and just bond with them on such a deep level. And because they were older, there was none of that superficial stuff. Like they didn't care about money or like materialist things like that. They were talking about time spent with family, emotions, creativity, like the magic within ourselves. It was really a transformative moment or course, I guess you could call it, in my life. It taught me a lot of patience and gratitude. And I am so grateful for those ladies sharing that moment with me and allowing me into their circle and giving me the space to be myself and to learn about myself. They did call me an old soul, so I fit in quite easily, I think. um, and it taught me that I think the magical moments in life don't happen in isolation or solidarity. Magical moments happen when you can share them with people. Pain, misery, depression, doubt. I had all of those things, but also sharing the success, sharing magical moments, sharing all of the things. Like I don't think we are winning in life if we are alone. So I'm really grateful for myself for putting myself into these very odd, weird situations and just doing things that get me out of my comfort zone, push my boundaries as a person, and continue to push myself to grow. I grew up in a very small container of like, this is who you are. You need to be our good daughter. And I fit into that pretty well until I couldn't anymore, until my identity was just non-existent and I had no idea who I was. So I started to rebel and try to discover who I was. I was pushing those boundaries. And it's really, really scary as someone who grew up really, really sheltered, who wasn't really taught how to be a confident person, who didn't have friends. Like, I was very sheltered. I have a big family, but there's a difference in age between me and my family, and I wasn't allowed to go out, so my family all went out without me. So I like very, very sheltered, and I didn't even know that there was a world out there to explore because I just thought that that wasn't for me. So, like, my entire adult life has been about unraveling this mediocre childhood existence that I had and trying to live a full life and just live, like, have fun, be playful. Like, I don't get playing, really. I'm not a playful person, I don't think. And so that's what this podcast and this journey of my life has been about. It's about connection and learning how to play, because those were two things that I lacked severely in my childhood. So I am grateful for myself for continuing to push the lines and learn who I am and discover that there is more to life and learn how to play. And I'm grateful for these ladies for accepting me into their circle and teaching me what life is really about. And I'm grateful to life itself for this journey because I'm learning. And as I get older, like, I become more and more fulfilled as I continue to grow and discover myself. Like, when I was younger, I used to be depressed. I thought there was no point to life. I didn't understand life at all. It was pointless to me. But now I'm finally understanding it all, starting to unravel it all, and sharing a part of that process here with you. So, hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of Tina's Arena. If you enjoyed the story aspect, let me know, and maybe I'll have more stories to share. Bye. See you next week.